got in and made the right decision and fisted it over the bar for a 3-point lead. And a 3-point lead in this game is huge because scores have been so hard to come by. You're thinking Dublin, they're not going to score 3 times here. They're going to have to get a 2-pointer or a goal. Cluxton with the ball on the tee. Where's Howard, he's thinking.
Cluxton
there he is
with the little dink to Howard. Exactly, James read his mind, and Howard actually runs by him, but Davy Byrne was there to collect it, and he slips it into Kieran Kilkenny. He's being chased by a couple of Tyrone attackers. If Tyrone put a high press on here, they're leading by 3 with 2 minutes left, but they're let the Dubs come out over the halfway line, and Dublin need to make something happen here. They need a goal or a 2-pointer or 3 points from play, as Cian Murphy has it now. He's not going to shoot, but he's going to find somebody who might. He slips it back to Kieran Kilkenny. They're looking for Kilkenny to make something happen. The Dubs have players inside. Who's looking for it? Luke Brannock does, and he collects it. He doesn't, he spills it, but he still has it. He chips it up and gives it back to Kilkenny. He's in 2-point territory.
They don't have the time to be doing this, Tom.
Conor Callaghan, the captain, goes in, but he drops it short, James, into Niall Morgan's hands, and that's happened multiple times today. The Dubs have dropped it short. Bugler's done it twice. Connor's done it once. As now Michael O'Neill slips it in to the hands of Kieran Daly, who's coming through the field, and he gives a kick pass. The kick was always on, and now there's another kick on. And it is on for Derek Canavan. And Canavan, there's a goal on here for Tyrone if they want, or they can just put the ball over the bar and go 4 clear. That's what Derek Canavan does. And he gives a fist pump to Owen McElhone and his brother Rory, and to the Tyrone fans. And Tyrone lead by 4 points. Tyrone 20, Dublin 16, as we enter the last minute of the game. Cluxton takes his kick out to Howard. Howard spills it, and he's been converged on by 2 Tyrone forwards, and he's done. Tyrone have turned him over here, and surely Rory Canavan's going to put this one to bed. Rory Canavan puts the ball over the bar, and I think, James, that is it. I think Tyrone have ended Dublin's All-Ireland campaign here in the quarter-final stage.
Yeah, I mean, Cluxton goes to Howard as always. He wanted to go to his tried and trusted. This time Tyrone knew what was happening, which in fairness they had to. He'd done it so often in this game, and they took a chance. 3 of them went around him, turned him over, and Canavan finishes again.
Cluxton gets his kick out of the way, but the Dubs have touched it on the deck, and Tyrone fans can start to celebrate because there's 25 seconds left. They're leading by 5 points, and they have the ball. Dublin's year is over. James, there was plenty of times this year where we thought the Dubs' year may be over, but they recovered and they played brilliantly in Salthill to beat Dublin later on. They played brilliantly in Park Esther to beat Derry. They got the job done against Cork, but today it just felt like they just didn't have it in them.
Yeah, look, Tommy, under the new rules, 16 points is what they're after getting. It's just not enough in Croke Park. 16 points won't win you any game at the moment. Tyrone have just been able to snuff out their attack. I will put a lot of it down to the absence of Con for the majority of this game. It just means you don't have that leadership up front, that bit of experience, that bit of expertise when the game is in the melting pot, and you can you give it to him and just let him do his thing. They didn't have that, and Tyrone just been able to carve out a couple more scores.
Niall Morgan
gets it.
A 2-point free off the deck, and the Tyrone fans love it. And the orange flag is waved in front of the hill.
Will he get it out? He won't.
And James, the hooter goes as Stephen Cluxton puts the ball out, but it's game over. The hooter had already gone as the ball goes over the sideline, and Tyrone can celebrate because they're in an All-Ireland semi-final, and that's a massive moment for Malachy O'Rourke's side. They've beaten Dublin as Kieran Kilkenny shakes the hands of Michael O'Neill, and the players embrace in the middle of the field. A fine performance from Tyrone. In the end, James, they did just enough. 23 points to 16 in the end. The 2-pointers, I think, James, is what did it for them.
I was going to say, they hung in there in the first half. Dublin had absolutely all the ball, but Tyrone were able to have a couple of attacks where they sauntered up the field and through great kicking got a couple of 2-pointers to keep the scoreboard ticking over, and ended up going in a point up at half time, which on the balance of play you'd have thought that Dublin should have gone in ahead. After that, Tyrone played the second half fairly cagey, but when the game came down to the last 10 minutes, they got the scores. A couple of fellas stood up. In fairness, Canavan got a couple of points, and they got a great score from Ben McDonald off the bench as well, which just sealed it. And that great point from Niall Morgan, 2-pointer, absolutely sensational. Tyrone deserved the win. Dublin's attack malfunctioned. I would have even Bugler, such a classy player. His kicking was a little bit off today. We saw with Com when he came on, he dropped one short. Cluxton forced a 2-point free. Just their attack did not go as smooth as it usually does.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the strap that was on Conor Callaghan's leg when he came in there, clearly he wasn't ready to go. Clearly he couldn't give what he wanted to give today. And Dublin were in the mix coming in late on, but they probably just didn't get the kick off the bench that Tyrone got on the flip side. We mentioned Rory Canavan, under 20 Footballer of the Year in 2022. He made a big difference. And Owen McElhone, James, made a big difference too.
Yeah, McElhone gets a great score where he eyes Kilkenny up and takes him on the outside, gets a point. Canavan actually got 2 points when he came on, and Ben McDonald gets that point. They got serious impact off the bench.
I'm just watching Stephen Cluxon exit the field here. He shook the hands of Brian Kennedy. He gave a hug to a couple of Dubs, and he's just slipped off there as Tyrone are gathering themselves in the middle of the field to probably salute their fans. But Stephen Cluxon there exiting the field, in the news this week because of the stance that he took with his club Parnell's going into liquidation, and perhaps that things were handed there back about 10-12 years ago. Cluxon exits the field. I don't know, was that the last time Stephen Cluxon has exited the field, as Kieran McGeary now gets the Man of the Match award, and he's going to give a speech here. We're going to hand you back now in 98 FM. We've really enjoyed doing live commentary here for you. We hope you've enjoyed it back home. It's Tyrone who've won this one by 7 points. Kieran McGeary is Man of the Match. Tyrone 23 points, Dublin 16. Dublin's 2025 campaign ends as Dessie Farrell's Chargers are beaten at the All-Ireland quarter-final stage. You've been listening to myself and James O'Donoghue here. We're going to bring you a bit of analysis on the Football Pod later in the week. But for us, on 98 FM, that's it.
98 FM.
Dublin, let's do this. Turn it up.
Now. Tonight.
Turn it up.
We're powering your Saturday night sound system.
Like this.
This is 98 FM Dance with Mark McCabe.
Slightly late this week, but however, good evening to you. It is Mark McCabe here. This is 98 FM Dance, and this is where I bring you nothing but the best 90s and noughties tunes for the next 3 hours. So let's get into this week's show.
My lover's got no money, he's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no power, he's got his